Hi, so today we're gonna be going over my Demon King matches from last weekend. Uh, I'm just gonna be like explaining the usual stuff, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, like my thoughts when I'm doing it. Um, but before we actually get into gameplay, I do want to say a few things. I would like to thank everyone again that was like cheering me on and just supporting me in the stream chat. It was so nice. I was rewatching it and it was like there were so many people and it was so nice to see. So thank you for that. And then I'd also like to give a shout out to all the teams I faced because they were really nice. I think I only spoke to the first team, so half a heart, before we actually played. But I talked to the other two teams after we played, and they were all so nice. So, shout out to Team Half a Heart, Team Firework, and Team Bingus. And then I'd also like to shout out my lovely friend Moldy, who actually drew the beautiful thumbnail art for this video. It's gorgeous. It's perfect. I love it so much, and I'm so happy that I get, a special artwork for actually my 100th video. Fun fact, this is my 100th video on this channel. So I'm really happy that, it's special because I have this art that my friend drew, and then it's also a video about my first time playing in like a tourney setting kind of thing. So thank you again, Moldy. I'm gonna put some kind of social media or her Discord in the description to like credit her, but thank you so much again. And without further ado, let's get into the matches. So first up, we have my match against Team Half a Heart. Um, First off, we got the buff doctor. Um, I was spooked. Uh, they clearly did some research into countering Dream Witch because they picked two pretty good counters, and then Journalist I'd say is like 50-50. I feel like if you can outplay her, it's not so bad, but like it can be bad. Um, I've definitely gotten work to Journalist players before, but I just spawned on this side, so I have more options. So if the journalist was in mid, I could chase her because she was my target for this match. I guess you can technically chase first officer as Dream Witch, but that long chair time, and I wasn't super interested in it. I just wanted to chase the journalist. So yeah, I did pick Ever Sleeping Town, and for anyone who didn't know, we did not do any bans. For I don't think anyone at all so far has done any bans, which is pretty cool. So it was free reign for survivors at this point. So yeah, here I'm gonna go towards the left to chase my journalist. I assumed that she would just head straight to corner house. So I placed her leech back there, and then she did end up transitioning over here, so I was just kind of wasting a little bit of time here, you know? Left my spawn here so she couldn't go to that pallet, and I just switched to her leech, and I get a nice hit on her, a nice leech hit. Um, I send my spawn away, and since I saw her drop the pallet, I thought she would come around this way, so I just go around myself, and it turns out I was correct. So I do just put a patroller on her, and then switch over and get my down. And yeah, that's my build. 2 into Hunt, 2 into Berserker, and 1 into Wanted Order. Since the persona changes, I've been testing out Wanted Order again a little bit, and going with less Hunt and Berserker. So I did try to get a bit of pressure on the first officer because I thought he would be the one to save, but he actually wasn't. It was the Ada. Um, so I just wanted to get a Terra Shock or get an After Half. So I was just kind of setting up, my main body. I wanted to see if I could leech her, but unfortunately, not up yet. But then she kind of just went for the rescue. It was honestly a really good rescue for them. So since I saw the journalist heading down this way, I was planning to cut her off with my spawn, so I sent my main follower down this way, and then I moved my main body so I didn't go out of range, and then I'm just sandwiching her here, and she goes down. So at this point in the match, this game is definitely looking like a tie. from earlier, my leeching was not up when the Ada was rescuing, unfortunately, so I didn't get any pressure from that. And then here comes the first officer. This hit I think was just, yeah, it was just really lucky, honestly. But I just take the other hit onto the officer, and I did place his leech here like strategically, but he does end up leeching. Sorry, he does end up eating the leech hit. I mean, so I just use my patroller again, and then I switch over to blink because whenever I'm like rusty, or if just I would say in like a tournament, my mindset is probably just it's just go for a tie, and then if it's possible to like turn that tie into a win, then I can go for it then. But um, I'm really just like I just want to guarantee a tie at this point, so I just use patroller and blinked over, and then I'm just moving my main body a little further out, and then I took a little look at ciphers here. And since I thought the doctor was over at graveyard, I head over to the other cipher because I don't want to be chasing a doctor, which rather chase the psychologist. So I do get over here and I put her leech over here to once again pincer her. I leave my main body here with the plan that I will, use her leech to force her to walk into my other follower, which does work out, but she does use the flywheel. I do get my hit, but I do get hit by the tram. I remember Z's and like Zeus saying it was tech and it was meta to get hit by the tram with Stream Witch so I can switch leeches. Um, it was not intentional, but I'll take it. And then here I was just looking at ciphers because I figured they would be starting a new cipher at this point. Um, so I just leech it towards middle. Getting hit by a tram was really funny though. I was just, it was so funny. And then hearing, Z's and Zeus saying it was tech and meta, you know, it is meta. They're right. It was not intentional, but like, it's meta. I do just take the down on the officer here to try and gain some momentum with the injuries. Um, I took a little look at the Ada's leech to see where she was and make sure that the doc wasn't on that cipher again. Um, Putting the officer's leech at the other cipher so they can't decode. And then once again, I'm just switching onto the doctor. In this situation, it's mainly because it is doctor. I don't want her to be out and to be able to heal up, so I just targeted her. And then I'm setting up another pincer here with the leeches. I do miss a hit here, but I get it down onto the first officer, and then I go and pick up the doctor because I don't want her, healing so she can save again. I want her on chair. And then I'm just going after the Ada and first officer again. I do unfortunately miss my blink. I'm I hate blink. I'm very good at blink. But yeah, I'm just breaking pallets here, pressuring her. She does get the heal up onto the officer, but I get her down in exchange, and then I'm just swinging and praying at this point. But I do get the tide hit onto the officer twice. Then I just go and chair the Ada, and planning on using blink to down this dock, but I do miss again, and I just stand still because I'm like, are you serious? Did I really miss another blink? It was so I just can't hit blinks. I just can't. I'm not built to hit blink. But then I'm just checking on the officer, making sure that the doc isn't trying to heal him up. I did not know where she was. I was just kind of camping, but then she just appeared. Um, Again, I wanted another Terror Shock, but maybe without the rescue buff, it would have been a Terror Shock. But yeah, I just move my main body a little bit because my leech is going a little out of range here. Um, then I just go ahead and blink the Ada since she is dead on chair, and this puts me in the guaranteed tie, like for real position. Um, I do leech the doctor and get a little hit on her since she was right here. And then, yeah, I'm just sending my spawn to go pick up the Ada, get her out of the game, so I can focus on the doc and the officer. Um, Sending the officer's leech towards him and just sharing the Ada. And then she actually tries to pop the cipher, and I was like, oh. So I just go ahead and pick up the officer and then move my main body a little bit so my spawn can be a little bit closer. Not hitting her here because it is her leech, and if I hit her, she can just really heal up, really. But then, she goes for the save, and I just go after the doctor again because, um, didn't want her to heal. And then, unfortunately for them, the tram was actually in the way, so he couldn't make it to the cipher to pop. And that is going to be a guaranteed 4K. Yeah, I had a lot of fun this game. I was kind of playing a little, like I was just nervous at first, so I wasn't playing super duper good. But then I locked in, and then I did a little bow, a little salute, because I was like, might as well. I love that emote. But yeah, that is the first game, and let's head on to the next one. And then next up, we have my match against Team Firework. I really love that team name, by the way. I love Fireworks. They're so pretty. Um, but I am starting this a little early for one reason, and that's because I had to spook Zeus and Z's with the Joseph. I had to pull him out. I had to. But I switched back to my Dream Witch, and yeah, we have Team Firework. Pretty intimidating team right here. We have the forward, we have the Weeping Clown, the rescuers, the harassers, and then they have a lawyer. And I do believe they switched the toy merchant out for another decoder, composer, I believe. Um, but yeah, the composer, and I did end up picking Arms Factory because again, my mindset for playing in this was like I just really want to tie. So I was picking maps where I know I can potentially force a cipher lock and control the ciphers, and then I do spawn in the top left corner to block off that factory cipher. Um, I was hoping that one of the decoders was where the forward was spawned, but you know, it's unfortunate, but it's okay. So, I did plan on just going after the lawyer. Since, it is Dreamwitch, she does walk really fast, so I was like, it's okay. I'll take the locked cipher and just go after him. So, I am heading towards uh the lawyer right here. I did think that he might rotate over here potentially instead of going for the other cipher, so I started out over here. Yeah, exact same build, and then I do just leech the lawyer. I saw him heading towards the pallet, so I spawned his leech there, and it was a pretty natural pincer situation here for me. So I do get a pretty early hit onto the lawyer, so I'm just moving along here. Um, yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for a time to use my patroller right here and get the down on him. Um, and then he does, unfortunately for him, miss the flywheel, and I get a nice spawn hit on him. And then I did see that cipher stop shaking, so I sent my leech over there because I knew the rescuer would come from that way. And then I do see him, so instead of, taking the leech on him, I do just take the early rescue. Um, I tried to scare him a little bit, and then I get a leech on him, and I just push it far away. And then I just assumed that the lawyer had rotated, but he was actually over here, so I just, let the followers do their thing. His leech does stop, but I'm getting another spawn hit on him. And then I saw the forward again, so I was like a little nervous, but I just sent both my leeches in. And then I also sent I also sent the forward's leech away so it would go bother him. And then I tried to kind of scare him off harassing. I thought he would have backed off it, but he actually got the harass. I think I should have kept the leeches a bit closer to each other so I could, body block it. And then I just go after the forward here. I do switch to blink in case it was needed, but I do get the hit without the blink. So I'm now free to chair the lawyer. And as you can see, this team is actually doing the audience effect strategy, which I think it's cool. Even though I'm a hunter main, I think like it's like cool strat, you know? I don't I can't say that I like it because, Cypher Rush, but like it's cool, you know? And I did plan on sharing the forward, but then I realized that there's no chairs over here. So I just drop him to slug him and try to pressure that composer cipher. Um, they were just leaving it prime though, so didn't do a lot. And then here is the weeping, and I really wanted to do that. I wasn't sure if it would work out, but it did work out. I did manage to get the hit and then have my recovery cancelled. That one was more intentional. I really wanted to actually hit that one, and I'm happy I did because I felt so cool. I find it pretty hard to like do that one honestly, because I just don't really face sweeping clown too often, so I wasn't sure if I'd be able to actually cancel it. Put myself in an even better position. So yeah, I just sent the forward leech out of range, and the composer is coming in to try and rescue or heal. I tried to predict that he would, come a different way around, but he actually did not. So he does get to heal the forward up, but I do get a hit on him, and then the forward unfortunately had barely not enough ball to stun on chair, so I get another down on him. And then I'm doing the same pincer strat here where I put the leech in front of them, and then I just kind of patiently wait for them to, feel pressured by the leech, and I wait till my leech catches up. Um, he does some nice jukes here, so oh, and then we did get a pause here. Not sure why, but okay, I'll skip it. Okay, but yeah, the pause does end here, and I'm just going to share the forward here, and also the composer. Yeah, it was this time that I noticed the chair over here, and I was like, oh, uh, but yeah, that is another 4K, and then I just do a little emote here. I believe it's the one from the. Is it from the summer event? I think it's from the summer event, right? I'm a fake Dream Witch player, but anyway, that is round two, and let's get on to the final match. So for the final match, we have me versus Team Bingus. Ignore the Percy. My mutual messaged me and told me to hover over Percy on the next match because it would be funny. Um, but yeah, this team is arguably the scariest team comp in this challenge, at least to me. They're all like 100-star peak tier players. I'm guessing they all have really good ping. I know the Puppeteer has good ping because they actually ping it in the match. They ping 13 ms in the match, and I'm just here with my 120. But I do spawn in that corner, and I was just planning on chasing the cowboy because I can't really chase anyone else. Like, I guess you could technically chase first officer, but it's just safer to chase the cowboy. But yeah, I was really nervous to face this team, but I just wanted to try to do my best and stuff. So yeah, I believe my build is the exact same. I don't think I changed it. Um, but yeah, I am going after the cowboy here. Just spawning his leech over there to try and cut him off from those pallets. Then I just had a little look around the corner to make sure he was actually going in this way. And then I just set up a sandwich here, and I was trying to kind of hide behind the barrels so he couldn't lasso over me, which um I don't think it really worked, but like he kind of messed up a little bit, so it did work out for me. Um, but yeah, then I just send my spawn away, and I use the patroller, and I'm just trying to sandwich him a little bit here. I think I messed up a little bit with like his lead over here, because I should have just left it here, but I pushed it a little bit further. Then I missed a hit, and then I'm guessing that he had a bite to cancel, so he vaulted in to cancel it, and he was just like, "It's fine to take the spawn hit, I guess." But then I got his leech on the cipher, and I also go ahead and leech the puppeteer here. Um, I feel like in this game I kind of had to put everything into what's it called? I felt like I had to put everything into my chase, so it was kind of hard to get any pressure, but I got a little bit at least. And then he just does the biggest lasso ever over my leech, and I just send out of range because he's way too far away. And then I'm also sending the puppeteer's leech out of range, but they are removing it with the perfumer. Um, and since the first officer was here, I was just like, let me get a little bit pressure on. Um, and I was just watching where his leech was going to see which way to go around. Um, Lucky for me, he did end up missing the tram, so I just used the patroller here, because, I knew he was gonna kite me if I didn't use my traits and stuff properly. I did make a little mistake here. I definitely should have blinked instead of just swinging, but then I think you can kind of tell that my game was. I was having a ping spike moment. And then he. Cowboy is so funny to chase. I just love the lasso. It's so silly. He just jumps over you, and then he just takes the leech hit, taking some pressure off. So I have to leech him. And then I do get a little bit more pressure on the map by leeching him over here. Just, trying to stop them from decoding and stuff. The perfumer, I definitely knew she was bait because they had been running a lot of tie turner in this team comp. So they do pop a cipher and they do stop doing audience effects, and I just wanted to get full pres off her. In hindsight, I do think I should have just taken the hit on the first officer, or I should have just leeched her instead of the first officer over here, but it's kind of hard to play super optimally when I have bad ping, I'm facing an intimidating team, so first time in tourney, so I feel like it makes sense to make a few mistakes, but I do block the window. I should not have done the third vault, but I do blink past him. This is why I say I shouldn't have done the third vault. My leech would have been at that window if um it would have been at that window if I didn't vault. but I didn't. I keep having an issue with that. I keep misclicking and just spam hitting, but I do think I should have skipped out on this other hit on the officer to get into a better endgame situation. But I do get the chair. Um, but yeah, I do think I should have just taken the hit on the rescuer, and then because it was officer and because he had two pocket watches, I did not want to face him endgame. But I do end up going for the perfumer here since I knew she was at that other cipher, but the perfumer buff. I do think I should have hit her normally, but I wanted to charge attack because I wasn't super sure about flywheel is the thing. Because I usually bait flywheel with like charge attacks and stuff. So and I wasn't sure what she had because I knew that they had been running Tide for the most part in this tourney. Like they've been running Tide, Perfumer, and like a lot of Tide. But I wasn't sure if they had ended up changing it up to counter Dream Witch because Flywheel's so good against her. But they did not. But even then, I am pretty happy with how I played overall in this because, you know, I've never really faced like tourney players or a tourney team in like an actual tourney setting, I guess. Like, this is my first time doing it. And obviously I'm at a disadvantage in terms of ping and, uh, you know, experience and stuff. So overall, I am happy with how I played. Um, and I definitely want to enter more tourneys in the future because it was really fun and everyone was so nice. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again to Moldy for the beautiful thumbnail art.